Hello everyone, welcome back to Vanaloga IAS current affair analysis for 1st April 2021. In this video, we'll be looking at this couple of issues. This article titled Still No Recognition of the Third Tier is with respect to the 15th Finance Commission recommendations with regard to the third tier of the local governments. So, what is the significance of the Finance Commission recommendations for local government? This is the question at hand. So, what is the primary task of Union Finance Commission? So, the primary task, as we all know, is to rectify the vertical and horizontal imbalances in resources. Now, what do you mean by this vertical as well as horizontal? That is, between the states and between the various tiers of government. As far as the horizontal distribution is concerned, the formula to transfer 41% of the divisible pool of taxes is fine. But what about the vertical imbalances that we're talking about? That is the third tier, local panchayat raj or the urban local bodies. If we strictly speak, the third tier of the government, that is, there are nearly 2.5 lakh local governments and over 3.4 million elected representatives. This is the truest form of democracy. Yet, the big part of this democratic structure is hampered without funds. The reason given often is that these local bodies are not in a capacity to utilize them properly. Given this fact, the 15th Finance Commission has increased the budget nearly 52% than the 14th Finance Commission. So, till that part, it is very positive. However, the major complaint is that the 15th Finance Commission has reduced performance-based grants. Till now, the cities which were performing better actually received performance-based grants for upgrading their infrastructure. Now, the reduction will severely affect these particular cities which are already performing better. And one more problem is this completely left out Panchayat Raj institutions from the ambit of this performance based grant. So Panchayat Raj was completely excluded. Now, if you have to go back into the history of this performance based grants, this was introduced for the first time in the 13th Finance Commission, and it covered a wide range of reforms. So the transformative potential in designing performance based conditionalities for improving the quality of governance was not understood properly in the present scenario. There are a few states where the governance reforms always take a backseat, and therefore this performance based grants acted as a impetus for those states which are doing better. So there is no encouragement now for that sort of a system. The next problem that we have to talk about is the standardization of accounting system. So an important recommendation of the 15th Finance Commission is there are certain entry level criterion to avail the union local grant. Now, with respect to the performance based grants, we will see a difference, especially with this entry level criterion. For example, if you take the case of urban local bodies, the minimum criterion is different from that of panchayats. For panchayats, the online submission of annual accounts for the previous year and audited accounts for the year before is the minimum criterion. However, for urban local bodies, there are a couple of more conditions. One, property tax. So, one of the major complaints with respect to urban local bodies is that they are very lazy in appropriating the property tax or collecting the property tax from people. So a minimum property tax collection ceiling was set up to avail these funds. Similarly, efforts must be taken to improve the collection of this task, and minimum floor, that is a minimum lower amount of property tax was to be specified. Now, why are these conditions not set up for panchayats is not clearly understood. Because we know that panchayats also have certain similar level of problems, and they are also not in a position to raise funds. This article talks about an important principle called the Alma Ata Declaration. So in this Alma-Ata Declaration by World Health Organization, it calls for an integrated approach. What do you mean by this integrated approach? Integrated approach basically means that the local government should be at the center of all the basic facilities which ultimately culminate into good health as envisaged in the Alma-Ata Declaration. So this integrated approach calls for clean access to water, sanitation, and everything that is linked to health. Now, what is clearly missing in this approach by the 15th Finance Commission is this integrated approach. There is no effective division of responsibilities between various wings of the government. At the same time, there is not much emphasis on making it more empowered to do its job well. So, although the 15th Finance Commission stresses the need for implementing the equalization principle. Now, what do you mean by this equalization principle? Giving an equal role to the local governments along with the subnational and national level governments. But this is just a lip service, because in principle, by making a lot of differentiation between the local governments in the form of panchayats or the urban local bodies, this difference in approach is a clear indication that the Finance Commission has not given the kind of importance that panchayats really deserve to see the efficacy of this local governance in villages. So unless and until the taxation efforts, equity and efficiency are given centrality in the decision making processes of any policies, local governments will continue to remain with a lot of problems as seen in the case of panchayats. That is the gist of this article. Government retains 4% inflation target for RBI's rate panel for 2021-26. Now the background of this article is in 2015-16 the RBI Act was amended and Monetary Policy Committee was created. And with the Monetary Policy Committee coming into picture, it was having a single mandate of creating a framework for coming up with a repo rate. Now this is the only mandate of Monetary Policy Committee, and other rates are set by RBI in tandem with the rate that is decided by the Monetary Policy Committee. Now in 2015-16 this rate was decided as 4 plus or minus 2%. So the range of inflation can be 2 to 6% only. Now there are a lot of calculations that go behind why only 2 to 6%, but the fact that 2 to 6% is a viable one for Indian economy was decided by the Monetary Policy Committee. Now this target formed the basis of all monetary policy decisions. Inflation targeting is the basis on which RBI takes its decisions. Now this Monetary Policy Committee had a mandate to maintain this 2 to 6% till the period of 2020. Now after the end of this MPC's mandate, the government has actually extended it for the next 5 years. So the government felt that this 2 to 6% range has actually worked well for our economy and saw that there is no need for the government to change this particular stance. Therefore, we are going forward with the same inflation target. That is the gist of this article.